up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
What's up? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let's start off by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. What's up, people? Hope everybody's well. Yeah, man. It's a different day today. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. So our guest tonight had to cancel for family, which is understandable. So we're cool with that. We're still going to talk about it though, because we want to start here on DopelivenTV Live. We love our guests. We love our guests all the time, but we want to be more conversation. We want to talk to people. We want to see what's up with you guys. Well, he just texted me and said he can still tap in. Yeah, of course you can still tap in, bro. We got you. Let me do this first.
What up?
I'm chilling, man. What up, Chris?
What's going down?
Up?
So the guest today was he had some family things he had to do, but he just texted me and said he just got through doing it. Can he tap in? So what I'm going to do is
I got time to go pop my popcorn.
say what now?
I got time to go pop my popcorn.
Yeah, why not?
I think I'm gonna do the drink.
The joint or the drink?
The drink.
Okay. Gina, what's up, man?
Hey, y'all got it. Gonna be an interesting conversation today.
She waiting.
I'm gonna be chill.
The question today, man, was basically well, not even a question. The topic was basically about men. Are we nowadays, are we passive? You know, we let a lot of stuff go. I put in the post that do we take that back seat when we know we should be in the driver's seat, but we take the back seat anyway? You know what I mean? Do we do that? And why? And if we do, why do we do that? Why do we limit ourselves? And is there a moment where we should be, or moments that we should be more aggressive?
I can't hear you right now.
Or should we as a man, should we be aggressive all the time?
No, can't be hard all the time.
You can't.
That's with the blue pill. I mean,
I'm talking about the
Hey, look. Sometimes the blue pill don't work for people too, so you can't be hard.
Well, I don't know. I never had to use the blue pill, but
You know, even as a man, there's times when you have to be passive, and there's times when you have to be aggressive.
right.
It all depends on the situation.
There you go.
You can't be. I mean, you could take relationships for instance. You can't be the same way you are in the streets with your woman at all times.
That's true.
You gotta be sensitive when it comes. You gotta be sensitive when it comes to something.
But
everybody don't. Yeah, let me just say this: everybody don't get the same you all the time. If everybody got the same you all the time, you'd be too predictable, and you'd be an easy whatever the situation is. It'd be easy to get to.
Yeah.
But do we have a like a responsibility to family, especially being a male? Because okay, let's take for example where we came from. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all know you show weakness where we came from, it's over.
That's true, but it also times that being passive gets you out of situations.
Yeah, because it's been a few times where you had to pass on a fight because you mess around
Mm-hmm.
and jump at the wrong person. You had a whole world out on you.
Every fight, you don't have to accept every fight.
Nope.
I mean, yeah, you have to pick and choose your battles. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But again, we're also supposed to be examples. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so when some shit go down, you know, are we gonna show our that turn the other cheek? You know what I'm saying? Does that have to? Do we necessarily have to do that all the time? How many cheeks we got?
I think we passed turn the other cheek though when we talking about that subject.
Yeah,
we passed that.
I'm trying to get.
You can't keep turning. I mean, I know you're supposed to forgive, but then at some point you have to stand up. You can't just let people walk all over you.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is true, but like I said, like we said before, it's a pick and choose situation. You supposed to protect yourself, protect your family. You know what I'm saying? To protect your valuables at all times. That's one thing that you have to protect at all times. Be it aggressive or being passive.
But I
said, all the time you're not going to be aggressive in every situation. Sometimes a situation might need you to be passive. Sometimes I'm sorry can diffuse a whole situation.
Okay, now being aggressive does not necessarily mean throwing your fist up and getting mad and cussing and this. That means showing a more I said dominant attitude, especially when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships. You got to show them that you ain't no punk.
Hey, G, I like to lay on my back and don't do nothing sometimes too, bro. I can be passive.
Can be passive too.
So what about when your woman is your wife is aggressive? How do you
You check for the
so
Adam's apple.
Is that okay?
What you say, G? She got she got an Adam's apple. but that's the thing. But that's the thing. That's knowing your mate and the other one, because it's times where she might have to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? But she doesn't have to be the dominant, aggressive one in the relationship.
True.
It's times you can't always, like, if you get into a confrontation with a woman, you can't, as a man, go full throttle. Your other will have to step up and do that.
So, yeah.
Is that a turn off when a woman is aggressive like that? A lot of men don't like that.
I like it. It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation.
Aggressive is one thing for a woman. Okay, is one thing, but I'm with Gina on this. Sometimes that the sexiness just oozes out once she gets a little bit too aggressive. I don't mind a woman saying, "Hey," inviting me to dinner. I don't mind a woman picking me up and this and that, but when she start opening doors and pulling chairs out and stuff, again, check Adam's apple for real.
You don't want to. Hey, look. You don't want her to slap your butt while you bending over in the refrigerator.
Nah, man. I'm the one that's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. What's that? That role play? Don't quit role playing. Ain't nobody trying to do all that. But I mean, yeah, and overall, there is a time to be. I guess we got to take the word aggressive You know what I'm saying? And put it in context. All right. We don't always mean get ready to fight somebody, but there's instances, like I said, where we came from.
I like the word strong better.
You know what I think it is? But you know what I think it is? So let me ask you one question, G. When this came about, was this after the conversation that we had yesterday? The subject matter that we had yesterday?
No, this was before.
Before that. Okay. So this is what I was going to say about being aggressive and being passive. Sometimes women go through the aggressive stage because they don't have no one to be that aggressive in their situation.
Mm-hmm.
When they become and get into a situation, the only thing they know is aggressive. So it takes the man to take the masculinity out of the woman. A woman doesn't have to be masculine at all times.
Well,
but if that's all she knows, you have to show her a different way to be passive.
That's her bringing that baggage in from previous relationships. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, and that's
But you know, big bro, a lot of them don't see it. A lot of them don't see it because they never had it. They never experienced it. So that when it happens, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. Because we got. I was gonna say one more thing. We got a lot of soft boys out here. I can't say men. Got a lot of soft boys out here that's portraying themselves as trying to portray themselves as men too.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this. Again, we have to put the word aggressive in the proper perspective. All right. And
context.
The guest is here, so let's get him to talk about it, man. And don't call him Superman, all right? His name is Christopher. His name is Christopher Reeves. What's going on, bro?
What's up? How y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Welcome, Superman.
Thank you.
What's going on, bro?
Now, what are you doing at Superman?
I know you get that all the time.
Yeah, my whole life.
So we started the conversation, Chris, talking about do men have to should we always be aggressive? And what we want to break down what aggressive means, okay? And you and I were talking about it. Let's talk about it, man. Now, when you say aggressive, what do you mean?
Okay, I don't know if it would be more so more aggression than just by do right of a man. A lot of black men, in my opinion, they act as if what the position that they're in is a favor more so than ours. They're real soft, they're real passive about progression as far as people, family, in my opinion. And again, this is what we teach. We don't teach anything different, so we can't expect the next generation to progress as black men because we're nurturing soft black men right now.
So are you referring to a certain age group, or is this in general? Are you speaking in general?
I wish I could refer to a certain age group, but from my eyes, I see it at all ages with the black man.
That's interesting. Ilsa says that she dated a passive man and an alpha man. The passive man was too passive, and the alpha man was too alpha. For me, there has to be a balance. Go ahead.
And I agree with Ilsa because when a woman gets in a relationship with a passive man, they usually don't stay with them. That relationship usually does not last. We don't want a yes man.
It depends. It depends. A lot of women do want a yes man.
And she's probably calling the aggressive man too aggressive because she's not used to being around a real man in the first place. Her daddy probably was soft. Her father probably was soft.
Well, see, this is the thing. We can't bypass the agenda that happened if we're going to talk about blackness. It was agenda in the black family. It was an agenda to get the black man out of the black boy's life. So most of the black men were raised by women. That's why it's a lot of passive men in the world. They didn't have no type of
That was at a
male.
certain time, though. That was
No,
at a
that's still
certain
going. That's still going on today from the 80s to 2025. It's been going on.
time. But
That
then you said
haven't
the 80s.
that
But
haven't changed.
prior to that, it was the households were not like that.
Did you hear what I said, sis? From the 80s to 2025, it's been like that. They were getting the black men out of the family home. That was their agenda.
Right. Because the child support system is
And the
all
crazy
a
part about
business.
that whole situation is this. 3 of the laws that was made to get the black men out of the house was written by Joe Biden, and black people voted for.
That's
Interesting.
interesting. I didn't know that.
The 3-strike law, the drug law that happened when they started pumping the drugs into the black communities, and there's another law that he wrote, and I think it was like 87. Those 3 laws, along with the welfare, even though, like I always say, it was more white people on welfare than it is black people, but in the black community, that's what was getting jail, and women on welfare was getting the black men out of the black family.
So
yeah, but you know that came even before. That was being done even before Biden, though, bro. It was done.
No, I'm talking about the jail part was Biden. The welfare part was happening because they wanted to get the black man. Yo, we would give you this as long as he's not in your household.
Hey, they chiming in, man. Faye said if you're going to speak on black men as an authority based off of being a man, then allow Gina to represent women in the conversation. You can't be an authority on both sexes. I think you can't. It's not being an authority. It's not. It's us stating an opinion. That's all it is. We're stating
but you gotta stay. You gotta stay in your lane, though. Just like I can't speak on being a black man, or how that affects the whole agenda. You can't speak on being a woman, a black woman either.
But see, that's the problem. The black man's lane, the black man's lane has been dictated by the woman all this time. That's the problem. That's the problem. We don't have black men. We don't have black men stepping up. We don't have black men stepping up, making their own lane. Because at what point don't we blame anymore?
That's not the whole. You can't group it all together, because I was in a home where my father was strong, and I had a strong father, and he taught my brother how to be a man. I got a husband right now that's strong in our family, and he handles what what needs to be handled to keep us going higher and elevating us. So I just don't agree with that at all.
I don't think your situation is the norm and the norm amongst our people neither.
What you just described, Gina, is 2 men out of how many black men there is in the world.
But I
don't think that's the norm.
It's not just 2 men. It's not just 2 men. I could go on down the list.
That's not the norm. Though,
that's not the norm.
That's I mean, the thing about it is, when I said what I said, I only go off statistics. I don't go off of opinion.
But it's for y'all right here on the screen, though. It's for you guys right here.
No, but what I'm saying is, when me personally, when I'm talking about the subject, I go off the stats. I don't go off of anything else. It's not my opinion. It's just what the stats say. I'm not giving my opinion on the subject. I'm just giving the stats of the subject we're talking about. They wanted the black man out of the family. They wanted the black man off the streets.
Which does not say we're an expert at this. We can only go by what we base our opinions on, like Chris is doing, like both Chris's, off of facts. All right, of what we've seen, number one, and off of statistics that we've read. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, Gene. Okay, but again, the margin.
I know I'm not wrong. I know.
You could be wrong, all right. But the statistics, it's a small margin. Okay, if you put 100% up there, okay, you're looking at a very small margin of people that you're talking about. Very small.
But you know what, bro? You got to go back and think about the strong Black Panthers. They were so strong. They had to break that down and break it up. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just too many strong men out there that I see. Maybe it's because of the circle that I'm in.
Can I give you another fact?
I was just gonna ask you, where do you see them at?
I see them all around me.
Can I
see them
give
all
you?
around me.
Hey, Jenna, can I give you another fact?
Mm-hmm.
In the 60s, when the Panthers were strong, we were all about Black Power. When we were trying to segregate together, trying to be with the white people, you know what they end up doing?
Silencing us.
They end up giving women a lot of rights when we were fighting together to make women start fighting for women rights that took away from the whole subject that we were trying to fight against.
But bro, you got to look at the fact women had zero rights, though. Absolutely none.
But the thing about it is the fight that we were fighting for together became separated.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, look, Ilsa says real quick, I had a strong father as well, and that's more than likely where I got my alpha persona from. Trust me, I can put you in your place at any given time. And Fayetta says, please cite your source for statistics. She want the site. She want to know where you get your statistics from.
Hey, only thing you got to do, we got it at our fingertips. It's called Google. Only thing you got to do is look it up. You can look up how many Black families are on one parent household. You can look how many Black families there is across the U.S. I'm not even talking about the world, just the U.S. in itself. The stats are there. Only thing you got to do is look it up. They're right there in front of you.
Mo ain't trying to get in trouble over there. Mo ain't saying a damn. What's up, Mo?
I'm fascinated because the biggest thing about this whole conversation is we all Black on here. You know what I mean? And we need a solution. We don't need a finger pointing session. You know.
Well, it's not.
I don't think it's a finger pointing session. I think it's points that Chris Reeves is trying to make, and like I said, I don't necessarily agree with him on some of the things he said, but that's just my point of view. And like I said, maybe it's just the circle that I'm in.
I mean,
I know this.
I know the people that we run with. Most of us probably on the screen. I don't align with what Chris Reeves is talking about. Most of the people we run with, most of the brothers I run with anyway.
Oh yeah, but because like they said, man, because the sister's trying to do it. All right, the sister's trying to be the aggressive ones. All right, check the Adam's apple. I done told y'all, check the Adam's apple. Make sure that they right. Right? Bobby says it's impossible that generational narratives of the defeat are not only from without, but also within Black families. Now, Chris, we had talked about Chris Reeves. We talked about the. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was saying that's facts too. She just stated another fact. We could talk about that too. You can have both parent households in your house, and it can still happen.
Yeah. There's a lot of men present, not present.
Yeah, it can still happen.
And sometimes that's a worse situation because again, the woman is still the dominant person in the household. There's still no manly figure in the household.
So in saying all that, what kind of solution do you want to offer for it? I mean, what kind of advice can you give anybody that's listening to us right now that can help curve it, or somebody we could pass on? Like you said, in order for us to learn, we got to teach each other. So I mean, myself, my way I raise my boys, and I don't have just 2, I have 20, and those are young men that come around here and get advice from me. So again, I don't abide by that because there's some of us out here that's real strong that do teach, you know.
But like I said, I see 4 of them right here on the screen. So we wanted to take a poll of the 5 people that's on this screen. We would say 100. I'm seeing 100% dominant men.
Right, but
if you take us out of the equation, though, Jada, I was just gonna say if you take us out of the equation, Gina, it's more, and we're just gonna go to stats of 2024. In 2024, it was 25 million Black men in the U.S. 25 million Black men in the U.S. And the Black men make up a lot of the population when it comes to the Black caucus or whatever we want to talk, the census and all of that. It's a lot of us. But the other part of that is how many y'all on themselves.
His phone rang. Whenever Chris' phone rang, it's over. Okay, Chris Reeves, you gonna say something?
I lost my thought. But what I was gonna say is we are brought here, we are grouped together. This is not a normal situation for a group of men out of the urban community It took me well into my 30s, and I was just talking with a friend one day, and we just had an epiphany that we are acting like women. Like just from talking, it's certain things that men just don't do. And but we hadn't had but it wasn't it wasn't a man around to call us out on that and teach us and show us all this time. It's something that we had to come to on our own. So yeah, maybe if we had groups and we talked about it as a community and we got it out, and spoke on it outwardly, maybe it would be a chance. But a lot of men don't even see this in themselves.
But you know what, Chris Reeves, one of the things that I see in my community, that's the same community that my other brothers here are in, I see a lot of mentorship. And that was something that wasn't prevalent in our community. But I see more of it now, where older men are mentoring younger men so that they can be strong and they can have a strong family network. So I'm seeing a lot more of that than I saw 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Hey, Sharika
To me,
Bray
that's strength right there.
Sharika says she don't have a passive husband at all. Yeah, we know about Devin. Shout out to Bray Films as well. Okay, Sharika's a director. Hey, Sharika, you need to pull up Chris Reeves and put him on one of y'all movies. All right, for real.
And you know what I want to add to
said,
that too?
Fantastic, Mo. Thanks. These are stats of strong Black families who are voices to be stat shifters. We have you guys. DopelivenTV has the stat shifting vibe. Thank you so much, Bobby. We appreciate you. But you know what? And a lot of times you guys have mentioned about the men, the women taking over, basically. Not taking over, but they're the more dominant ones. A lot of times in the families, the men are so afraid sometimes of losing if they're too dominant. You know what I'm saying? Losing the family, losing the wife, the woman, okay? And when you're having two people coming that are very, very dominant, all right, it's like magnets, you know, that the opposites, you know, they move away from each other. It's a whole different thing. But I'm absolutely on board with you, Mo. We got to teach. We got to mentor. We got to do some things to show these, because these young people are having a hard time coming up.
That's a must. And even with that, bro, I'm gonna tell you like this. You can teach them all you want to. You know, like they always say, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can teach them all you want to. You just got to remember you the message, and you got to give a good message. You can't give them no BS, because they'll definitely fill you out. I was thinking about something. I was sitting here thinking about something, and something that Chris just said about, you know, you was hanging out, then they just kind of had this, you know, epiphany that they were, hey, we sound like, I know the beat word probably came out or something like that. You know, sound like these, you know, and it probably came out. And I know without a doubt, Chris, in order for you to have an awakening, you had somebody give you an example. You know,
I was the example.
Mm-hmm. But
I look.
I'm saying you had something to see to make this move, to say, hey, man, we sound like this, and to make a change. And you passed that on to the brothers that you were sitting with. That's the kind of awakening we had. You know? So, I mean, it's pretty easy for us to just sit up here and look at a statistic. Well, he didn't have no daddy, or he had too strong of a mama, and lump us all together. And then, you know, we had this gigantic statistic that the government can look up and put us in a box. But what we need to do is need to take those great ones out of the box and sit them to the side, because and let them know that they're doing something.
Put your fingers down.
That's right. He's talking the truth, though.
He's talking the truth.
We can't sit up here and let that statistic ride on the public. We just can't do it.
And you know what? One thing, a question I wanted to ask you earlier, Chris, is when you say the word dominant, what is your meaning as far as dominance?
You talking to me?
Yes, Chris Reeves. Reeves.
Well, dominance in the Black household, from just me, my opinion, I see a lot of men in a power struggle with their mate, with a woman.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. But see, at the same time, this woman hasn't been taught to respect the man either.
Oh,
Well, they mentioned
now he done turned
Chris,
shifted another gear and opened a whole nother box.
Well, see, he's got a point. He's got a point, y'all, because think about it. Gina, get that face off of that. I already warned Chris about you anyway. So he already knows.
Ooh.
You got to look at the.
Well, he might say I'm dominant too, so he probably gonna say I'm a dominant woman too.
But you guys mentioned
ask Robert, and Robert will probably tell you different. But if
it's a difference in being opinionated and dominant, though. It's a difference in being opinionated and dominant. It's women who are combative with their male mates.
No,
that shouldn't be.
You know what? But this is the thing that I'm hearing from you, because it sounds like you saying women should be submissive.
That's
what I'm hearing you say.
That's not what he said.
I don't think it's what he said.
That's what I let him respond. You can't tell him what he's thinking. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Don't knock out credit.
So you're in your opinion, because I'm saying a woman should be respectful to her husband, that means you have to be submissive. Then you should be submissive. Then you don't think?
That's not what I'm saying. You should be respectful to your husband and anybody else. That's not what I'm saying. But what you
maybe I don't understand what you're asking me then.
Your comment was you see a lot of women who are combative with their husband
or mate, because a lot of these women are married. So
okay,
we'll say mate. Okay.
So in this is how I'm interpreting that you should not go against what your husband or your mate says. That's how I'm interpreting it. Should not the husband be the leader of his household? Yes, he should. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to jump off a cliff with him.
You're not?
So when he's at a point where he's on that cliff and he's about to fall off, it's my job to keep him from falling.
Is it your job to assist him?
I can't stand let
me ask you this.
Off that cliff and I'm let me ask
you this: is it your job to assist him in not falling, or is it your job to take over?
No, it's my job to take over when I see that
negative. I disagree.
I am not going to let somebody lead me off a cliff. And so when it's the job of the woman to make sure that this still where he's missing, where there's a void, that I make sure that void is filled. And that does not mean that I'm being dominant or I'm taking over. It means that I'm assisting and helping this family to stay together and stay on track.
Okay, that's what I just said. I just asked you assisting. You said take over. It's a difference in taking over and assisting.
No, I'm not saying take over.
Well,
but there are
times when a woman. You said take over though. You said take over though.
There are times when a woman has to step up. Where if say your husband falls sick, you can't just sit back and wait on, and lead him, and he's not even in the right frame of mind or in that right frame of health.
Now we don't need to go to extreme circumstances. We don't need to go to extreme circumstances of sickness and near death. But I'm saying on the everyday running of a household, if your man falls short mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it should be the woman's job to assist him in getting the household back on track. No way should the woman have in her head, I'm on the sideline waiting to take over. Who taught them that? That's why I said a lot of women who taught the women, maybe they're taught wrong as well. Because I don't agree with that.
That's not the situation. It's not, I don't think anyone, I'm not going to say anyone, but I don't feel women have that mentality. I'm going to because if that's the case, I might as well be by myself. Why wait to take over?
You must just don't scroll on social media. Must don't scroll on social media. That's all the women are displaying.
Well, you're looking in the wrong place, Chris Reeves. You're looking in the wrong place. And if you talking social media, that's a whole nother conversation, because you're right. I don't follow social media because it's a facade.
Well, all right. Hey, look, let me read some of these real quick, okay? Faith said it's that mentality right there that has some black women feel like they feel towards black men. It sounds like you're just bashing black women. Lewis says a man needs to know how to be the head. And Brenda says, a helpmate.
And see,
Faith says,
I agree with that one guy. See, it's a lot of leaders out here leading the household that don't know how to lead. So now we can go back to the original thought about us being taught about being leaders of the household. But a lot of us are doing this just off of thought. We get into the situation and we think we just know how to lead the household. So I agree. I'm not trying to bash women at all. I just
Correct.
don't think that. I just don't think that collectively, let me say that collectively, as the black man and the black woman, we're not setting up the household correctly. The black man being the leader, that's who I'm blaming. The black man.
so let me finish
I'm
these
sorry,
real
I
quick.
still can't agree with a lot he's saying. I got
And
two
you don't
sons.
have, and Gina, you don't have to.
I have two sons, and both of my sons are strong in their household. Matter of fact, they both were married before the age of 25 because that's what they were taught. You treat a woman if you're gonna be with a woman, then you marry that woman. You make sure you have a household where when you bear children, they have a mother and a father.
But your husband was present to help teach them that, correct?
No, my husband and I divorced.
But your husband wasn't around after the divorce? Was he not around after the divorce?
Because
Right. He's still active.
they stayed. That he still had a relationship with his children, because I'm a strong believer that children need their mother and father. I am a very strong believer of that.
I have a question, and I'm not trying to nitpick at your words, but I have a question on the verbiage you just used. You made sure, so he wouldn't have did it if you wouldn't have made sure.
Well, when I say I made sure, when he moved to Atlanta, I'm in Indiana. And when he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to see them, I put them on a plane and I sent them there. I wasn't one of those mothers, oh, they can't come. And that was even during the holidays. I wanted my children to be at home with me for Christmas, but I knew he did too. And so I made that sacrifice to say, I'm okay with them coming to Atlanta to spend Christmas with you.
For his kids.
So I'm not, I don't know.
So were you doing him a favor by sending his kids to him?
No. What I'm saying, I wasn't one of those mothers that did that. That there's a lot that I do know that keep their kids from their fathers. Men that are trying to be in their children's lives, and
I'm a victim of that.
That will not. They don't want them there. But if they're not there, then their deadbeat dads, and you need to step it up. But when they're there, oh, I don't want them to see you. I'm saying I wasn't that type of a parent. I wanted my children to have their mother and father, and so did he. So I'm not saying I did him a favor. I'm just saying I wasn't that type of mother that would keep my children from their father, because I know children need a mother and a father to be well-rounded. And all three of my children are well-rounded.
Hey, let me read some of these real quick, okay? Because they starting to pile up, okay? Faith said, first off, the man being a head of household is a myth. The man leading the household has a lot of men and mental health issues. The feminine and male energy is in each individual. She also says it depends on the situation. I'm not letting someone lead that is leading in a dangerous way. Sometimes you have to take over for self-preservation. Lewis said it's teamwork, but it's only one head, and that's the man. I'm sorry, and only if he knows how to lead. And I agree. And
Yeah,
Gina,
they pretty much both saying the same thing.
Real quick, Gina, to the point where you said, well, I'm not going to let him lead me off of a mountain. Okay. Absolutely. I mean, he's not going to go in the direction of leading himself off the mountain. All right. But if you see that as a helpmate, you're going to talk to him. The communication is huge. All right. But again,
that's a huge situation.
In the grand scheme of things, there is a order. God put that out there. That's an order,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also, when you talk about household, it's if the man is doing his job, he's going to lead. If a woman is doing her job, she's going to organize. That's a household. That is how a household is made up. because even back in the 50s, 60s, probably 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, a man used to work and bring the check home, and the woman used to go ahead and organize everything, pay the bills, get the food, do all of that. That's how a household was put together.
But see, the modern woman, in my opinion, the modern woman would consider that soft these days overall.
But that stems from what I said earlier too, Chris, from 80 to 2025 with the man not being in the household.
Right.
That is what it is, because women had to do it all. They had to be the man, the woman, the husband, and the wife. They had to do the discipline. They had to do, because the man wasn't in the household because of the agenda.
Right.
They knew if we were together, we were at our strongest point when we were together at all times. Like, it's a fun fact. Even when we talk about the 60s and we talk about segregation, it was a plan that Dr. King went against that would have ended all of this stuff. We were supposed to come together and buy the bus line that the whole boycott started from, and Dr. King said no. So just imagine then in the 60s, what happened in Alabama, what happened there, and we had our own bus line that was just for us. It'd have been a totally different story. But a lot of people don't know that story. A lot of people don't know that story.
And a lot
go ahead, G, my bad.
No, finish. Go ahead, finish it out.
No, I was just gonna say, so when it comes to the worst thing we ever did was wanted to segregate with the other people. When we had our own and we were by ourselves, we were at our best, because we didn't depend on nobody but nothing but us. And when we took that away from us, that's when everything went haywire.
You're talking about when we integrated. When we
integrated.
And, you know, I'm gonna tell you, Chris Reeves, I'm not trying to dispute I am trying to dispute what you're saying, but
Hey, wait, before you say that, Gina, Chris Reeves, let me tell you this. So what happened was yesterday, I'm snitching on everybody. What happened yesterday was, we was like, we're gonna bring Chris Reeves on, and Gina and Greg was like, Gina ain't gonna like a lot of stuff that you said. So honestly, we wasn't supposed to say nothing. It was just supposed to be Gina and Chris talking, and we were supposed to have our popcorn. That's what we was planning on doing.
This was a setup.
Hey, we supposed to have a bag of popcorn. Each of us supposed to have a bag of popcorn.
Chris Reeves, they already told me you were going to say some things that I wasn't going to agree with, because they know how I am. They know how I am. But I just want to say this, though.
The crazy part is that face that she got right there. That's what we said. She goes, that face when she froze up.
Oh yeah.
The face she's making right now, Chris, we were supposed to be eating popcorn every time she made that face. That's what it was supposed to be.
I don't like the way they read me, though. I don't like that. I don't like the
All right, Gina, my bad. My bad, Gina. Go ahead.
Oh man.
I want to go back to the point that Chris made, because it's absolutely right. In around the 80s, 2000s, they were taking the men out of the household. So women had to be strong. They had to make sure that their children were taken care of, because they were locking up our Black men. They weren't in the homes. And so with that, and I'm talking about myself too. With that, it was hard for women to transition out of that role when the men finally started coming back to the household. I'm gonna tell you, I tell my brothers all the time, it was difficult when I met my husband, because I was so used to doing everything myself, handling everything myself, making sure that I'm taken care of by myself, that I wouldn't even open up for him to buy me gifts. I didn't even know how to accept the gifts. And it took my beautician to say, Gina, let that man do something for you. And so we had to kind of roll back what we had been conditioned to do, because we didn't have our men in the household.
And to add on to that, in the 90s, preferably 94 to 2004, we had preferably we had OGs on the streets, even if we didn't have a man in our household that led. From 94 to 2004, and I hate to say this, and we don't curse on here much, and that's my generation. We was like, man, fuck them kids. They'll figure it out. We about to do what we about to do, and they'll figure it out. And that's another thing where everything went haywire, because it was no guidance from the streets.
That's the other part that I was going to try to bring up, and we're running out of time with that, okay? Because Chris and I did talk about this, man, about where we came from. You know, we had to step up. You know, especially you know, if you show that weakness, you know, you done, man.
Right. But see, it's a difference in being a leader in the streets and leading your household, though. It's a big difference in being a leader in the streets and leading your household. And see, we can lead other men into destruction. That's what the streets is. We lead other men into
No, but
destruction
that's
on the
not always
streets.
true. That's not always true, bro. So let me tell you this: I was an athlete, and I wanted to hang with the knuckleheads, and they told me, "Nah, bro, you gonna get up out of here. You
Yeah,
you got to figure."
we'll take
You
liking
got,
to the few who are
no.
elite
But what I'm
in
saying
the
is,
area.
we had OGs that taught young boys either one thing or another. You see what I'm saying? That didn't have that father inside the house, because during that time, especially in the 80s, we can go back a little bit further, like mid to late 80s up until 2000, it was the streets raising a lot of us, because that's when crack cocaine and all that started, you know, running, which started back when we went to the war and we was over there in the war and we started doing cocaine. They saw how it affected us over there. They shipped it to the US. They put it in the urban cities. And now you got black men in jail. You got black men not in the household, or you got black men that are addicts. You see what I'm saying? That's a trifecta when it comes to what we're talking about right now.
But I mean, you think about where we came from, Chris. Everybody on the screen, I don't know. Chris Reeves, where are you at in the country?
I'm in Indiana.
You're in Indiana, so you know about Gary, you know.
Yeah.
And what the persona of Gary was, but what the persona really was back in the 60s is that's where a lot of black roots came from, as far as actors. You know, Black Panther, Jesse Jackson, all those folks came from Gary, Indiana. You know, as far as the hub where people got together and got shit done. You know, like
the very first Black Caucus was in Gary, Indiana.
That's right. Was in Gary and at our school. Our school.
Yeah,
I don't know.
when Shirley Chisholm was running for president.
Yeah, all that stuff was there. So we knew what the blueprint was, but we failed to do when we got drugs in our system, when we got, you know, where they had us chasing money that wasn't ours, claiming streets that we didn't own. When we got that in our head, you know, that's when shit went crazy. We should own, like Chris said, we should actually own and have our own, because it seems like every time we start holding hands with folk that don't give a damn about us, we go down another hole.
Yeah, like this is what I want to say, and I'm gonna let you go, Chris. I'm gonna let you go after this. But do people remember what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921? Do y'all remember what happened? What happened?
Oklahoma City got well, that was Black Wall Street.
Yep. But what happened? What did they end up doing in 1921?
They burnt it down.
You know what they did? Wait. Do you know what they did in 1925 in Tulsa, Oklahoma? They rebuilt Black Wall Street, but they never tell us that.
They rebuilt.
They rebuilt it from 25 to 1957. That's when that Highway Act happened. Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna let you get it. That's when that Highway Act happened.
They fought back. They fought back.
Yeah.
And when they came after them, and they fought back.
The second time,
they didn't just stand back and do nothing.
Right.
Hey, let me get a couple of these comments out here, man. Because they said the narrative of the man leading the household is biblical. So if you're going to lead by biblical standard, live that way as well. Rachel, and I apologize, Rachel, I said somebody else said your comment before, but Rachel says the male dominance makes it seem as female needs to be subservient to men. In the BC time period, women were the head of the family. History is lost on the dominant and the subservient nature of history. That was a form of suppression, just like the witch hunts were for women with divine powers. Now, Brenda says that her dad was not there in the 60s because he wanted to be an abuser. So her mom had to be mom and dad. Lewis said, back in the days, you can leave the door open all day and night without anyone messing.
You knew everybody on your block back in the day.
That's gone.
You knew everybody on your block.
Leave your door open now. Hell, I'm coming. But yeah, man, it's a lot of variables to this conversation. I'm glad we did have this conversation, because things need to be talked about so that people can understand. Okay, and it's not just a one-sided conversation. There's a lot of difference that women can be involved in this conversation as well. Speaking with Chris, it was because we didn't even touch on a lot of stuff that we talked about. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's
has to come back.
Oh no, you already know.
Hey G, we got something to do.
Huh?
We got something we got to do. You know, we own our platform.
Well, I do. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, okay. If you got something you got to do, we're gonna bring him back.
No, he coming back. I'm gonna make sure
that
he can come back and hang out with us, okay? Because not only do we need to hear about this conversation, but he got to come sit, with some people that we National Black Radio Hall of Fame winners, y'all. What? we are in the National Black Radio Hall of Fame. We got to make sure that we spread that word. All right, Chris. Number one, I appreciate you. I know you have some family stuff to do, man, but you popped on here and you popped on a little late, so we're gonna invite you to come back at another time.
Thank you. I appreciate you all for having me.
No doubt, man. Is there anything that you want to final words you want to say? Tell people. Take your time.
Well, finally, I just want to say, at the end of the day, we all just need to be together and united as a people. Whatever we can do to strengthen our community, I'm with that. Black men, black women, black kids, let's strengthen our people. If we got to talk it out, to hash it out, then let's do that. Let's get our people aware and let's help our people.
Yeah, conversations are always great, man. And we don't, nobody argue. We have differences of opinion, okay? It's agreeing to disagree and keeping it moving. Everybody got points. You know what I'm saying? Mo.
Yep.
Hey, the one thing I don't want to discount on here is that there are a lot of step-in mothers that stepped in their position. And sometimes it may look like it's an aggressive woman, but those women are soft and lovely just like everybody else. But they have to do what they had to do to raise that guy. And I'm pretty sure most of the strong ones that came out of that situation had uncles and granddaddies and stuff like that stepped in there and raised that man.
Yeah, I feel that. Chris?
Yeah, I just want to touch on a little bit what we talked about yesterday when I was telling you about the word Hoosier, that it came from a black man. It was a guy named Harry Hoosier who was born in Maryland, 1770, that was born into slavery. When he became old enough and was free from slavery, and no, actually he was born in 1750. He was free from slavery in 1770. He was one of the first black Methodist preachers that traveled all the way around the world preaching the gospel to black and white people. And that's the way the name Hoosier came from when it comes to Indiana.
Hey, man, Black history is 24/7, 365. Y'all got to know this, all right? For real. Gina, what's up?
Hoosier. Listen, Chris Reeves, I want to thank you for coming. And I really appreciate you bringing this topic because we never had this topic before. And to bring it, and put it out there, I think that's strength within a black man right there, because this is something that's not talked about. And there are some men out there that are not stepping up and not doing what they're supposed to. But we as people have to reach down and pull them up. We can't leave them by the wayside. We can't, we have to get those mentorships out there, programs to, help them. Some men don't know how to be a family man. Some men don't know how to be a father. And it's up to the older generation to help them out, teach them, preach them, and just make sure they're strong.
Man, we got a diverse audience, all right? So we got young people, we got middle age, we got some people old, that watch the show, man. But the overall message that everyone should get is that, okay, we can talk about these subjects. We do need to talk about these subjects in order to have understanding. We cannot, nobody's saying, hey, what you're saying is right all the time, 100% of the time. What you're saying is right 100% of the time. We're saying, okay, let's talk about it. And you share an idea with me, let me share an idea with you, and we can come to a happy medium, and understand. And because we still got people to raise. We still got people that we need to understand this whole situation, so we can keep us out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep us from being abusive, so that we can keep us, in a loving situation. All right, and this conversation had to be had. We need some more women to come on, and appreciate the audience, the people that commented, talking about, giving their opinions as well. It's bigger than just this platform, man. It's worldwide, but we do need to continue the conversation so that everybody can, be aware and get knowledge on it. Chris, man, I'm glad we did this, bro. And again, when you have time, come back, man. For real, we're not done with this conversation. Come back.
Thank you.
No doubt,
Hey,
man.
can I ask a question before we leave? And this is for everybody on the panel.
Right?
I'm gonna start with Chris first.
You going around the room?
No. I'm gonna start with Chris first, and then I'm gonna ask the brother and my sister on here. Tuesday or Wednesdays about this time. What does your time look like?
I'm kind of all over the place. I work swings, so it just be when I'm free, I'll drop in. I could check. This Tuesday, Wednesday. What's today? I think I would be able to be free the Tuesday coming up.
Because I was going to ask, we need to, the same way we have Relationship Mondays, we need to have this Black Agenda talk, and we need to make a day out of it. Now I'm talking to everybody else that's on Dope Living, because it has to start somewhere, and it should start with us because we Dope Living.
Well, not to mention all of us came from a city that had that in the beginning. So I'm down with it.
I'm down with it, bro. If we gonna do it, I'm with it.
Let me think about it.
Okay. I already know, G Money
over there.
Gina, what you?
I don't have any problems.
Because I mean, we able to get at least 10 people on here, so we can bring other people on and get their opinions. Yeah. That's how we can keep the conversation going.
And then when you come back,
Chris. See what you just started, Chris.
But it's a great thing because it's needed, bro. Because if we don't, like we just talked about, set the agenda, we ain't gonna talk about it until it's too late again. And we need to keep it fresh on people's brain.
Can I make one request from you all, even if I'm not around? Could you all please discuss the state of the mental health of our community?
Most definitely.
Oh, that gotta go.
Hey, look, that's a huge subject in itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
you'll be around though, okay? But we do need to discuss that. We tried to do that some time ago.
Yeah,
right?
about
the thing that we do, Chris, just so you know, the thing that we do, man, we want to have people on here that can have a conversation. That we're not saying we want experts. None of us are experts, okay? We're only experts at what we know how to do, period, all right? But we've had people on here, just to give you a little history, because we've had people on here that have claimed to be experts. We had to kick them the hell off the show. I'm telling you, dude.
In the first 10 minutes, they got roasted.
Gotta go. Because I'm gonna tell you. She gonna tell you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't even know why you on the show. Click them. But yeah, you're right. We will. We're gonna definitely discuss the mental awareness, mental health, period, man. In this community,
Chris,
we need to bring it up.
Hey, Chris, we got better because Gina used to click everybody off. So we got a lot better.
I'm glad she let me survive the conversation tonight, then.
You know what's so crazy?
Gina, you on mute. What are you talking?
What's so crazy, Chris?
I said, don't make me the dominant bad guy.
No, it ain't that. I can tell with Gina finna click off because she be looking at the light or something in her eye and her glasses go white. And she just she's gonna pop off.
Yeah. I already know, man. We don't mess with Gina. We protect Gina. We don't mess with Gina, and we don't sugarcoat nothing on this show, though. We don't sugarcoat anything. Yeah. Everybody has to know the facts.
Chris, is this your page, Chris Reeves?
No, that's not me.
Who the hell is that? Gina, I'll send it to you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, send it to a request.
Gina sending it to Satan worshipers over there, man. Stop doing it.
What is that guy doing on the street?
Chris was like, who is that?
Gina, don't just pick motherfuckers out the air, you know.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, no, but we
I really enjoyed this, though. You all really enjoyed this. I really appreciate you having me.
So did we.
We appreciate you coming out, bro.
Real stuff. Yeah, I like it too.
On that note, y'all, this is Dope Living TV Live, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?
Peace.
Peace.